Hello, everyone. Welcome tonight to Dare to Share with Mistie Layne. I am your host, of course, Mistie Layne. It is so happy to be back with you again. Thank you all for being here and joining us tonight. I have a very special guest. One of my friends, Brian Gable, will be on tonight. We're going to talk about some of the childhood things he had to go through with abuse from his stepdad and how that's affected his life and what he did with that abuse and how he didn't waste that pain and what all the good things he's doing today, how he's paying things forward to make things better for others. But before we get to him, I'd like to do all my little housekeeping things first. I'm going to ask that you first share this out with all your family and friends. You never know just who might be a friend of a friend of a friend who might need to hear something Brian has to say tonight. So please, I ask that you just take one little second, hit the share button, share it out. Also ask that you throw some hearts up on the screen for Brian. I ask that you go ahead and become interactive in the conversation by leaving comments. If you're watching on Facebook, we are able to see your comments. So if you have a question for Brian during the broadcast, please, by all means, just type it in the comments and we'll get it addressed. And also, if you would like to be a guest on the Dare to Share with Mistie Layne show, you can do that by typing the word guest in the subject line and emailing to mistielayne@mistielayne.com. Also, one more thing, there is a movement on Facebook. It is a group called #BeThatOne, and it is a platform that I'm using where I encourage others to step up and be that one to share their raw, authentic truth, so that we can use our life stories to educate each other, because I believe education is the key. Through education, through awareness, I pray that we can judge less and mentor more, and all do our part to make the world a little bit better place. All righty, so now I've got you all sharing it out with your family and friends. I have you all joining the #BeThatOne movement. I have you all sending me an email to be a guest on the show. I got you guys busy, don't I? All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank our sponsors, because this episode is powered by sponsors today. So I would like to go ahead and take a moment to recognize those sponsors. And here we go. Today's show is sponsored by Simple Changes from Wanda Reynolds. Make a simple change today for a healthier tomorrow with products like Simply Satisfy, which aids in gut digestion and curbs your appetite. Mental wellness is directly related to gut health, so keep a happy gut with Simply Satisfy. Then there's Simply Soothe. It helps relax your sore muscles and it supports your overall joint health. Simply Start is made from 100% organic hemp oil. It promotes your calmness, supports sleep, and maintains healthy joints. Contact Wanda Reynolds today through Facebook Messenger or at scdso.com/live life wonderfully. All right, and now we're going to thank our other sponsor today, LifeSmile Health. LifeSmile Health provides simple solutions to whole body health. Would you like to sleep like a baby and wake up feeling rested? Transdermal Human Growth Hormone Gel can give you that sleep and also maximize the benefits of physical exercise. The gel will help you burn through your midday slump with energy and focus, and it offers 25 other body improvements as well. While it improves your bone health and muscular growth, your body composition, and it increases your cellular repair and metabolism. New Your Life offers other products such as Fortress, which contains researched botanicals, probiotics, and vitamins formulated to promote a healthy immune system. Products are safe, FDA registered, and effective. Contact Diane Chasek to learn more about other products that can help you along the way. Diane Chasek, LifeSmileHealth.com. All right, you guys. I don't know if you've heard all the hoopla about the Human Growth Hormone HGH gel, Somaderm gel by New You Life, but that's Diane's company is LifeSmile Health. She's a distributor. Please reach out to her. You can text her at 64600 by just typing LifeSmile in. She'll be happy to get with you and explain to you all the benefits that HGH gel may give you towards all those things that the ad mentioned. All right. So we're going to be bringing on Mr. Brian Gable now, and I'd like for you all to welcome up. Whoops. Hang on, Brian, 1 second. I'm sorry. One thing I have to do first, you guys. Today is a special day. I have to recognize this day. This is my daughter's birthday. Amber's birthday is today. Today is her 29th birthday. So if you would please all throw some hearts on the screen and type in the comment box, happy birthday, Dr. Amber, because she is now received her doctorate in May, and she is now a CRNA, certified registered nurse anesthetist, doing anesthesia work. So please say happy birthday to my daughter Amber in the comments. Happy birthday, Dr. Amber. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, Brian. Here comes Brian Gable, one of my friends. You guys welcome him on. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Misty. How's it going?
Man, nothing like flying in the door at the last minute, turning on the computer, making sure your lights are on, your ceiling fans off, your windows open, your phone's on mute, your air conditioner's turned off. I'm telling you, it's like, whoo, okay, I can breathe now.
Yeah, take a breath.
There was a wreck, and I had to double back 30 miles to get home. Yeah, they had the entire thing blocked off, and I had to go all the way around the railroad track to a whole other town and then back around again. That's the problem with country towns is you don't just have a road that crosses, you got to go a distance to get a crossroad. So
I definitely understand.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Brian. So glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to kind of give yourself a pat on the back and just kind of brag about yourself. I want you to tell me some of the things you're most proud of in life, some of your biggest accomplishments. This is your moment to shine before we start talking about your past. So have at it.
Okay. Well, honestly, the thing I'm the most proud of is my family. I have a beautiful family. Got two. One is grown. He's almost 22. Got a 16-year-old daughter, and then we're expecting. So we have a new baby coming. And you didn't know that, did you? September 27th. So we're down in the short to the short rows, as they say in Alabama. So we're getting really close.
So I haven't talked to you in a while because that's just coming up right around the corner, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we're getting really close. I think like 9 weeks at the most. So
congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And you're a John Maxwell certified trainer as well, aren't you?
That's correct. Yes, that is one of, if not the biggest passion as far as what I do, outside of my family. Yeah, I've been a student of leadership training for many, many years and tried to implement it into my work, that kind of thing. And now I've actually launched out and doing it full time. So
awesome.
Pretty excited about that.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. Congratulations on the new baby. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. So we're going to talk a little bit today about your story growing up. I know some of it because you've shared it with me. Brian and I met during the Next Impactor competition, and we just kind of became friends through that. And we've seen each other on a few different occasions at some different events. And he's got a beautiful story, and he's got a beautiful heart. But, guys, as everyone's life has its ups and downs, it's not always roses. It's not always cherries, right? Not always cupcakes and unicorns. There were some dark times. So Brian has graciously couraged up and decided he's going to step up to be that one and share with us today. So if you guys have any questions, if you have anything that you can relate to that he talks about, please just drop it in the comments so Brian can address that with you. Brian, I'm just going to let you kind of take over. I'm going to take myself out. You got a good 10 minutes or so. Just kind of give us the background, take your time with it, tap your emotions, be as vulnerable as you're daring to be with us, and let us know about all those woes with your stepdad and how that all came about. Okay.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I didn't know she was going away. Now I'm all by myself.
Okay, I'll come back.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. I guess to set the stage for what I'm going to talk about, now I'm thankful for the story, and I'll maybe talk about that later. And I didn't always see it that way because when you're abused or when you are a victim, it's very easy to play the victim or kind of gravitate towards, a victim type behavior. So anyway, when I was born to a teenage mom, and by the way, my mom is like one of the greatest people on the planet. And I'm sorry that your mom's not as great as mine. She's probably watching this, but she's an incredible lady. I attribute a whole lot of who I am to her and her family. So anyway, as it says in my bio, I never actually knew my biological father. And there's some reasons why that was probably a good thing, just what I know. But anyway, later on, a few years later, my mom married a man. And then, of course, as things go, he adopted me. Um, so, here we have this family, and I've always known, that I was adopted by him, and things just started to change. Just, he was not particularly abusive toward me as much as he was my mom. And there's just a lot of just threatening things that happened, and where her life was in danger, and getting kicked and cussed and punched around, whatever. I was so young, I don't remember those stories. I just remember being, kind of lonely. But we lived through that, and I have two other siblings that lived through that with me. And just to give you kind of an idea, I usually tell this story, try to tell it as quickly as I can, but just kind of what the world we lived in was. There's a lot of menacing behavior, so you grow accustomed to not knowing what to expect. You grow accustomed to coming home and not knowing if you're going to what it's going to be like. What's today going to look like? Is it going to be normal? Are we going to be happy? Are we going to have a nice dinner at the kitchen table, or is it going to be some kind of incident?
Brian, let
And
me interrupt you just for a quick second. I just need to
yeah,
clarify about how old are you at this point that you're talking about?
I think so this story, I'm probably about 12 years old,
Well,
best I can
okay.
remember.
You're the
I
oldest
think
sibling, correct?
that is correct. Yeah.
And
So
is your stepdad on drugs and alcohol problem, or is this just his personality?
just his personal issues.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry.
And
I just
that
need to clarify.
usually, no, that's a good question. Thank you for clarifying that, because a lot of people assume that, there was drugs or alcohol involved. And it wasn't really that. It was just anger, just unresolved things in his life. So anyway, I'm 12 years old, and many people love their pets, like they're like part of the family. And so we had we're I live in rural Alabama, so we live out in the country, and so all of our pets were outdoor pets. So and that's just kind of a thing here for a lot of people. And so we come home one day, and basically he's some things had happened. The dog had, you know, done some things that were he wasn't happy about. So he runs in the house, gets a shotgun, um, and just remember, I'm a 12-year-old kid, and we're just come home from town or something like that, and he gets in the car, chases the dog up the road, like so. We live out in the country, so we see the car take off, and then we hear the shotgun blast in the background, and he killed the dog, our family dog at the time. Um, and you know the significance of that story is that um, when I was in my 30s is when I really remembered that happening. Now I don't mean that I blacked out, and I just mean I blocked it out of my memory. And I'm a person of faith, and in my time with just praying and talking to God, I remembered that story. And what I learned is that I never grieved. Now you think about the people and how much they love their pets, and how and that was our family pet, and I don't remember shedding a tear. I don't remember, and maybe I did and I just don't remember it, but I know I didn't grieve it. So it was things like that were not just the physical abuse toward us, but just killing animals, just threats to your life. And then when I was an older teenager, uh, there was just things that happened that were very damaging to us, uh, f- uh, physically to my mom, and just emotionally. So it just kind of messes you up. I mean, there's really no way to express it better than that. And the thing about it is you encounter people and they say things like, "Well, why didn't you just leave?" Well, uh, take this for what it's worth, but we loved him.
Yeah.
That's what love meant. I mean, that's
What it looked like.
it's what it looked like to us.
Yeah.
So we were familiar with that, and you remove us from that scenario, and now suddenly we don't feel loved because you got to understand, uh, he can be a very pleasant person, a very kind-hearted person, a very loving and affectionate person. So you attach that to um, just the abuse, and uh, it's kind of like being it's the ultimate case of passive aggressive. So someone's they're nice, they're pleasant to be around, and then you turn a corner and they're deadly, almost. So it messes with your ability to trust. It messes with your ability to um, have good relationships, have good friendships. Um, so I would say another byproduct of that is just me struggling with having close friends, close people um, that I could relate to and really go deep with and just barf things out. Hey, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm the insecurity and all the things that go along with being a beat down person, and I equate that to most everybody's seen like a dog that somebody's kicked a bunch of times, and you walk up to the dog and the dog just bows down, and
See it?
that was Brian Gable. Okay, I feel like I was had the beat down dog syndrome just
Oh.
for a while, and you wouldn't know that because there's another part I want to talk about is you can hide behind success
Hmm.
as well as brokenness. A lot of people. I know your story, Misty, because I read the book, and by the way, I recommend reading the book. A little shameless plug there for her.
Thank you.
Uh, but you know, my and you hid behind success too. You had things that happen, and so did I. I'm a person that has a bunch of abilities, that kind of thing. So it took me places, and but on the inside, I am still have some things to address, and
Yeah.
mostly anger, and a lot of times that anger turns into depression, and because it's anger that you turn in toward yourself, and so
Absolutely.
man, I was just this angry person. I've always been like known as a nice guy. Okay, that's what I hid behind, and part of that nice guy persona was that I didn't necessarily say what I really thought or wanted or what I liked. I remember my wife asking me uh, a few years back about, like, what's your favorite. This is when we were actually uh, dating, and she is my second wife, and she asked me my favorite color, and this seems so silly, I'm sure, but I struggled to say what my favorite color was. I
Hmm.
struggled to say what my favorite food was, and all these things because I
Yeah.
never had identified who I was. So these are all things that happened as a result of that
Well,
abuse that I've tied back to it.
yeah, the same thing happened with me. I talk about that a lot actually in my book, is how through all the
Hmm.
domestic abuse, when I finally physically was away from him when I went to jail and headed to prison, was when I broke the ties. And that's when I finally realized I didn't know what kind of food I liked. I didn't know what my favorite music was anymore because he dictated everything to me.
Yeah.
Now, your situation is a little bit different as far as
Hmm.
like the control part, but I mean, abuse is abuse. It still
It
strips us
is.
down as a person. It still makes us, it negates our own sense of freedom, our own sense of individuality, and just our own sense of self. And I want to double back, Brian. I wrote it down because
Okay.
you said we can hide behind success. But, oftentimes I find people misconstrue when we say facades and we're hiding behind things. Oftentimes we do mean from other people knowing the truth about our past or whatever. But I think just as equally as important, we're hiding behind success from ourselves because we're not ready to face our own music in the mirror. We're not ready to come
Absolutely.
front and center with the truth about ourselves. So we use that success, right?
Absolutely. I think me personally, that's exactly what it was, because first of all, there's two parts of this. Hopefully, I can remember the second part, but the first part is this: that um, I didn't really see myself as someone that was abused. Now, obviously, I knew there were bad things that happened, but there was a connection I had to make at some point of, hey, that was abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm you know I've read some books, that kind of stuff, and it's like I make the connection all of a sudden, like, okay, abused people end up with problems.
Right.
They end up with insecurity. They end up with um, phobias. They end up with all these things, and it's like, wow. And oddly enough, that brought a level of freedom. So the other part is, I didn't know that necessarily, that I was post abused. So I wasn't hiding that from people because I didn't have anything to hide from people. It was hidden from me.
From yourself.
So
Exactly.
yeah. So here I am, putting myself out there, and I'm putting out the put together Brian, the as perfect as I can be Brian, and this perfectionistic tendencies and that kind of thing. And so it
Big
was
one.
it was really hiding for myself.
Yeah, that perfectionism is a big one. A lot of people don't see that perfectionism is so much of an adversity or so much of a problem. But let me tell you, if you've never struggled with perfectionism, read up on it, because the amount of pressure that we put on ourselves, it's ridiculous. Growing up, I was always I still do it to myself. You know me, I'm always burning the candle at both ends constantly. I overbook myself in everything. And some coaches of mine try to tell me it's also a ploy to not have to look at myself and my problems. I keep my
Hmm.
plate full so I can look at elsewhere, right?
Right,
But
right.
I think for me, perfectionism is a huge issue which causes procrastination. Like, for instance, I've talked about it before, getting this show. Well, I've had the idea and the dream of this show since before the Impactor competition.
Hmm.
It was going to be called something different. It was going to be called The Flip Side back then, but I never developed it, never went out and started it because I was so worried about it being perfect. I wanted the perfect logo, the perfect design, the perfect platform, the perfect background, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And month after month after month went by and I had no show. And finally, I just said, you know what? I just have to jump in and learn as I go and not worry about it being so perfect. But there are so many things in our lives that a lot of us, and if you guys can understand what I'm saying or you relate to it, please comment on that, because I know we all deal with it in some form or another. How silly is this? When you know you need to lose weight and you're not lazy and you want to go to the gym and work out, but you won't go to a gym and work out because you're overweight. Hello? Does that make
Mhm.
sense? Because you want to look perfect going in there while you're working out. But the
Right.
reason you're there is to get your body in shape. But because our bodies aren't in shape, a lot of us won't go to the gym and work out, which is so ridiculous, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. We
Okay, so
avoid those things for sure.
we do. Yeah. All right, Brian. I know that you've talked about hiding behind a lot of things, and I want to ask you this question about your dad. Um, Did he have any? Have they gone back and diagnosed with any kind of like antisocial behavioral disorder or bipolar or anything at all, or was this just his behavior?
I definitely think there are some. I know he's being diagnosed. I don't know exactly what those things are. I don't maintain a relationship with him as far as seeing him, spending time with him. So I know that bipolar is part of that. So it was. I do think there was some things back there in his closet, so to speak, that definitely set him up for that. I do believe. Well, I know a few things, but I just know he's just a messed up guy. I think he, just like many of us, he has good intentions in his heart, but he's trapped in a cycle of you know just being an abuser. He's trapped there and control. And I think the issue is two things: fear and control. And you're afraid, so you try to control things, and that's really what I see him as a person that was very afraid. We were. I told someone this not too long ago. We were afraid that like the National Guard could be called in and they could not handle him. Like we were so afraid. We just thought he could, and he would threaten to kill our family, and like other people in our family outside of the home that we loved, and just things like that that are just menacing and just make you just terrified. And so, man, I have to. I've learned a lot, grown a lot. We can talk about that later, I'm sure, but just had to learn from those experiences. And again, I'm thankful because it's made me who I am.
Right. So was his dad abusive like that? Is this what he came from? I mean, is this the environment he knew?
Yes, as best that I can tell. Yeah.
Okay. And does he have a relationship? I know you said you know a little bit about what he's doing, but you don't really have a relationship. Do your children have a relationship with him as grandpa?
No,
No. So you don't
no.
know if he is even still that way today or not, or if he's ever gotten a handle of his anger or rages.
Well, uh, he has not. Okay.
Okay.
I'm being careful what I say. My goal is, you know, just take this for what it's worth. I don't ever really want to defame him because I still hope that someday he'll get straightened out. But
Gotcha.
until then, you know, he does not have a place in my life because my goal is to protect my family. So
Absolutely.
yes, my children know who he is. They if they saw him today, you know, they would know exactly who he is. They would have a conversation, but we've just chosen to steer clear.
So what you're doing is you're loving him from a distance because that is the only way you can ensure that your family stays safe. Here's a very touching picture, Brian, of you and your daughter. I think this was Father's Day or maybe your birthday, right?
Yeah, it was. Let's see. I can't remember, but I can tell you. You can't see it, but I am. It was her birthday,
Her
and I
birthday.
wrote her a song. You see my guitar, the headstock of my guitar there.
Yep.
I wrote her a song for her birthday, and I was so emotional I couldn't actually sing it because it just we had gone through a lot together in our family. Me and her mom and my son's mom divorced several years ago now, and so that just put us to the test. Just having to go through all that, and it was just a moment of me opening my heart to her to know how much this guy right here loves her and how proud of her that I am. So she's a beautiful young lady, and it was a great moment. So thanks for.
Absolutely.
I didn't know you were bringing that picture out. So
Well,
anyway,
I wanted to, Brian, because I know you as a person, and I know your heart. And I want the viewers to understand that no matter what adversity we go through in our lives, that we can all overcome our worst. We can live better. We can be better. And we can be in control of how we are in our future. And this just shows you came from an abusive situation with a stepdad, but that is not at all the kind of dad that you are. You are a very
right,
loving dad. And it's not a facade, it's not a front, because if it were, her arms wouldn't be around you. If your
yeah,
arms were around her, you might could get off with faking that picture. But her arms are around her daddy, and the look on your face touched me and moved me in such a way, Brian. And I wanted the viewers to see that even though you were raised in that abuse, that's not who you are today. And I thank you so much for
Thank you.
fighting against the odds and being better. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to ask you now, Brian, to be thinking of something in your life that I do this on every show right before we turn and pivot and go from dark to all the wonderful good things. I want to ask you of a vulnerable moment in your life, something that you're daring to share, an emotional moment as authentic as you're willing to go. It doesn't have to even be associated with your dad. It can be any kind of adversity in your life that pivoted you at some point in your life, one way or another. So I want you to think about that and share it as soon as we hear from our sponsors. We're going to come right back and discuss it and talk about all the good. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
I just want to thank our sponsors one more time with our ads. Today's show is sponsored by Simple Changes from Wanda Reynolds. Make a simple change today for a healthier tomorrow with products like Simply Satisfy, which aids in gut digestion and curbs your appetite. Mental wellness is directly related to gut health, so keep a happy gut with Simply Satisfy. Then there's Simply Soothe. It helps relax your sore muscles and it supports your overall joint health. Simply Start is made from 100% organic hemp oil. It promotes your calmness, supports sleep, and maintains healthy joints. Contact Wanda Reynolds today through Facebook Messenger or at scdso.com/live life wonderfully. LifeSmile Health provides simple solutions to whole body health. Would you like to sleep like a baby and wake up feeling rested? Transdermal Human Growth Hormone Gel can give you that sleep and also maximize the benefits of physical exercise. The gel will help you burn through your midday slump with energy and focus, and it offers 25 other body improvements as well. While it improves your bone health and muscular growth, your body composition, and it increases your cellular repair and metabolism. New Your Life offers other products such as Fortress, which contains researched botanicals, probiotics, and vitamins formulated to promote a healthy immune system. Products are safe, FDA registered, and effective. Contact Diane Chasick to learn more about other products that can help you along the way. Diane Chasick, LifeSmileHealth.com. All right, Brian. So we're back now. So I asked you to think about something kind of daunting in your life that's maybe kept you awake a few nights. So whatever you're willing to share with us, I ask you to go ahead and share it today.
Well, I alluded to it earlier, and I would just say going through divorce, which I don't recommend to anyone. I believe, and again, I'm a person of faith. So if you don't believe this way, that's cool. But this is, as people commonly say nowadays, this is my truth. So, it ripped apart my family. And so here I have these two beautiful children that love their dad. They love their mom. And, I won't get into all the nasty details of why. Just know that when I trace it back to my own behavior and my own contributions, the only thing I find back there is that I never really dealt with all that abuse. So my anger, insecurity, disconnection from myself, those are the issues that led to behaviors. Okay, and again, I don't, and I'll talk about why I don't go into that anymore, but in just a moment. But when you're a person that takes care of your family and invests in your family, to have that taken apart, and know that you contributed to it, it's very hard. And that's one of the biggest personal epiphanies that I had, honestly, later, is that, I've got to take responsibility for this. I can't live like this guy that, and I've never really played the I was abused, so but
For me.
although I've not said that out loud, I lived that way. I lived like, man, this is all I can have. This is all I can be. Those kinds of things, and just settling for less than what my potential really is. And so, personal responsibility is a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Taking responsibility for your choices. And again, I keep referencing my faith, and God gives us the freedom to make good and bad choices.
Yeah.
Alike. I mean, if I could only choose good, then it wouldn't be freedom. If he restricted me always from choosing bad, then I actually wouldn't have freedom.
There's been a
So
choice, right?
freedom, it means I can go either way, uh, and
Have enough
that's
rope to hang
empowering.
yourself. That's what we say. We give yourself just enough rope to hang yourself.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was just really, really painful, and I just remember a mentor, pastor, my pastor. I was having a conversation with him about, you just feel like, man, things couldn't get worse than they are right now. And he's like, oh yeah, they could. Like, you think you're at the bottom, dude, but that's not the bottom. That's not rock bottom. Rock
That's
bottom, you haven't lost. And then he starts listening to me, and it was it was not a fun moment because it was telling me the truth, but it was out of love, and it was like, but you hadn't lost this, yeah, all these things that I had that I was holding on to, and so that was a pivotal moment for me. Excuse me, to realize, like, hey, I've got to get pointed in the right direction here. So um, anyway, here I am.
Here you
Uh,
are. So glad
very
you got
thankful.
through it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Glad to see you've made it through to the other side, man.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, and I know, I hear a lot when I coach people, they always talk about poor me. They have the victim mentality, I'm never going to do this. And I didn't have this and I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. And it's all about a mind shift. And it's something we have to learn. It's not anything given. You have to learn about it. You have to shift your mind from the positive, from the negative. And for me, in my situation, when I was facing that 40 years, Brian, and I literally thought I was going to prison for 40 years, and I thought
Hmm.
my life was over and I was done. I saw no light at the end of the tunnel for Mistie Layne anywhere. Um, when I started using writing, like I always say, writing is what saved my life. When I started using writing, and what you mentioned earlier in the show, how you never dealt with that pain, I started realizing I had all this pain I had never dealt with. And I started realizing I had to work through those things to get to the other side, right? Um, I just started realizing that I could make a difference. I could make a change. Um, Vicky, one of the coaches from our Next Impactor competition,
Hmm.
we did a show the other night together, and she said, "Don't waste your pain." And I love that because it's like you have all this pain inside, but instead of staying a victim with it, look around you. Because when I pulled myself up, the way I did it every day is, number one, to be grateful, and number two, when I start feeling sorry for myself, sitting in a jail cell, told when I can eat, when I can use the bathroom, what clothes I had to wear, when I could
Yeah.
go outside and get sunshine. I mean, I was in an extremely controlled environment, which, if you know me, it pissed me right off because I like to be in charge, right?
Hmm.
But even in a jail cell, I found something every day to be grateful for, number one. And number two, which is what the point to all this was, is that when you start feeling down on yourself, look around you, because there is always someone else that has it a little worse than you do. Always.
Right.
And if we focus our attention and our energy on just helping that person up a little bit, it takes all of it off of us. And in doing so, we become a better person. We gain confidence. We gain self-worth, which is extremely important, because even in jail, headed to a 40-year prison sentence, I started teaching GED classes. I started helping the inmates get their GEDs. So yeah, I might have been going away for 40 years. My life in my mind might have been over, but I was helping other girls along the way that their life wasn't. So in doing that, I started feeling a little bit better and forgiving myself and loving myself a little bit, which is also important. So talk to us, Brian, about that moment when you did turn it around. When you decided, I want the viewers, because we're getting close on time, I want the viewers to know why you decided to be a foster parent. I want them to know about your Fatherful podcast and the evolution with that, and where you are today with the other
Hmm.
things. So go ahead and get into that for us.
Okay. So I wrote this down as you were talking. Manure makes really great fertilizer.
It does.
Uh,
I love it.
and so one of the best shifts that's happened in my life has been that I started investing in myself and letting people invest in me and be mentored and listening, that kind of thing. So we honestly, I went into foster care. I've said it like this, kind of kicking and screaming. I mean, I'm old enough that I kind of like to, uh, started thinking like, man, I want to look at retirement and all this stuff. And but it's always been my wife's passion. She's had that as a dream for a long time. And so, man, it was we just agreed to go into it together because I wanted to support her, and have loved it. I mean, like, honestly, like I say that because I don't want people to think like, wow, you're such a hero. No, I didn't necessarily want to do it. Okay, but I wanted to support her, so we went into it. We're in a group foster home, so we actually can have up to 6 kids at a time,
Wow.
and so we currently have 5. Um, but the thing about it is, what I see, and so all those kids and under my care are fatherless, for sure, and they're also motherless. And usually the dad in the picture is long gone, which sucks, by the way. But then the fact that they're with me means that they're actually um, probably motherless too. So it's just a great opportunity to invest in them. And so again, manure makes great fertilizer. And so what I've been able to do is pull from all my own experiences and on this side of all that pain and be able to invest in those kids. So yeah, last year I started this was about the time I met you. I started a podcast called Fatherful. And at the time I just, man, I need to be dealing with fatherless people.
Mhm.
That was what I felt like. And and I went through the coaching and the next impactor and all that. And one of the things that a phrase that I heard a lot from Jason Cisneros and other people too is just, that's an old story. That's an old story. And that old story, that was limiting me to this is the only group of people that I can help are the fatherless people. And I'm not saying that's a bad group of people. I literally, I love to talk to people. It sounds odd to say, but I'm very likely going to get in a conversation with somebody and learn that they didn't have a good father figure. They're kind of drawn to me,
Yeah.
so to speak. But anyway, so I've changed that. I'm not actually doing the Fatherful podcast anymore. I know that was on the advertisement. So I'm actually starting another podcast that I will see through now, and I'm calling it the Better Boss Bureau. One of the things that out of the manure of the past that I've learned is, man, I've had some good bosses, I've had some bad bosses. I've always kind of been ended up in like middle management and just learned a lot. I'm a student of leadership, so you mentioned it. I'm a certified leadership trainer with John Maxwell team, all that kind of stuff. And I just see there's a whole lot of training for, the top level guy, the CEO, but there's not just great practical training for the middle guys.
Right.
And so I'm pulling from my experience with crappy bosses to great bosses and just my own learning. I plan to learn the rest of my life and invest what I've been given the rest of my life. That's my heart, is to invest in people. My heart for people. I love people, always will. And I want to give what I have away. I feel responsible to take what I've been blessed with. And that is, coming out of crap, coming out of manure,
Yeah.
and ending up just, I am the most blessed sucker I know. I mean, when I get a birthday card from my kids or a Father's Day card and they say, Dad, you're my hero. Dad, I'm so proud of you. Dad, I want to be like you. Like, Dad, you're living out your purpose. Will you show me how to do that? That's the good life. Yeah,
Yes.
I could, you know, definitely could stand to have more cash in the bank and all those things like anybody would say. But man, if I leave this life, I have been successful
You're rich in
just for
love.
that.
Rich
Yeah,
in love and
and
family.
absolutely, and a wife that loves me, and you know, so just really got a great life, and so anyway,
That's
hopefully
awesome.
that.
So, well, let me ask you this before we have to get going.
Uh
So
huh.
the viewers that are out there, I think there's an issue. There are people online. I see them, but their comments are not showing up. So I apologize if you guys are asking Brian questions for some reason. We're having a little glitch, and the comments are not showing up today. But they can reach out to you, can't they, Brian? Maybe through Messenger or on Facebook, they can reach out to you.
Yes, I
Okay.
actually posted a link in the comments. Hopefully, it will show up eventually.
See, I'm
Because you're not seeing it. Okay, I will post it when we get off of here. But basically, I've got a like a it's what I call the top 8 qualities of a great boss that I'm giving away. It's a little short thing that I put together, and the link that I had earlier today wasn't working, so I'll post that in the comments. Anybody that wants a copy of that, just click the link. It'll take you to like a landing page, and you can download a copy of it. It's just practical things that you can do to be a good boss. And again, I'm taking from all kinds of life experiences and trying to help people just be good leaders.
Oh, look. Okay, I'm starting to get some. Okay, I'm starting to
Oh
see some
yeah,
stuff come up.
I see. They're popping up now on the screen too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All right, Robert says manure is fertilizer at the end of the day, and it seems it has worked very well here. Many greats come from the fertilizer of greatness. That is all right. You know, Robert's always so profound. I just love him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's always supporting everyone, and he just has so much wisdom, and his crap is fertilized deep. Let's just say that.
There you go.
Love you, Robert.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what's happened. I know there's other, I see we've had 10, 12 viewers on here, but I can't, they're not getting their stuff's not coming up. So I'm not sure why, but let's get past that. It's okay. So top 8 qualities of a great boss. You're doing a free giveaway. You're going to drop the link in the comments.
Hmm.
Or they can contact you on Facebook. Now, when is this Better Boss Bureau podcast going to launch, and where is it going to launch?
Should be in the next couple of weeks, and it will be on all the any platform that you listen to a podcast. So anywhere from Google to uh, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Obviously, iTunes, uh, all the popular platforms. It'll be broadcasted there.
Is it Anchor? Is it going to be Anchor?
Yeah, that's what I'm using to broadcast
Anchor?
it. Yes. Hmm.
I need to talk to you about this platform, E360 Live, so you can do a live broadcast at the same time. It's
Okay.
pretty
All
neat.
right. Yeah, I'd
We'll
love
talk
to hear
about that
about it.
later. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, these shows, when I first started, were getting like 400 or 500 views, and
Uh
now my
huh.
shows are getting 5,000 to 7,000 views.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
So it's definitely helping the reach because they're watching on Amazon Fire, Roku, Instagram, Apple TV. It's all over the place, and it's all done for me because I'm not a tech person at all. So okay.
Great.
Well, look, Brian, we just appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that you're not wasting your pain, as Vicky says. I'm glad to see that you're using it for the positive. Um, and hopefully we can get some people to check out your free giveaway, the top 8 qualities of a great boss. You have any quick little peekaboos on that? Give us one of those qualities off the top of your head.
Oh yeah. So one of the things is the first one in the download is about clear expectations. Excuse me. Just a lot of times we think people can read our minds.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
I've been promoted several times in my working career, and there's always this sense of, well, he was doing a great job as a salesperson, and now he automatically will know what to do as the sales manager or
Yeah.
whatever manager. That's not true. That's
Yeah.
not true at all. So you got to make expectations clear. People can't read your minds. It's kind of like in marriage or any friendship or relationship. You've got to make you know things clear. There's just
Absolutely.
some things that have to be talked about. So it's things like that. Try to keep it on the practical side, but also just being compassionate. A lot of times, people you spend more time at your job probably than anywhere else,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
driving back and forth
Oh, I do.
to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that should be a pleasant place to be.
Yeah. I agree. Hey, Brenda,
Um,
I want to ask you, just going back real quick, is your mom and dad still together?
oh no, oh, I'm
They're
sorry,
not.
should have
Okay.
said that. No,
That's
my
okay.
mom she remarried about 20 years ago
Good for
to
her.
an amazing, great man. He's just been incredible to her, incredible to us, just a godsend.
That's
So
good.
she's doing great.
Well, I like to clarify that for the viewers because if someone that might know you might be thinking, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know he was like that," but you need to clarify that's not the dad you were referring to. So I just wanted to
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. And then any advice you can give to anyone that might be in a similar situation as you were, how to get out, when to know to get out, what to do to get out, anything at all, any kind of advice you want to share.
Yeah. So if your life's in danger, get out. And trust. I know a lot of people want to defund the police, but that's a really bad idea. Sorry for being political, but we would have it would have served us well to follow through with you know turning him in, this has been a long time ago, so things were different then. We have more access to more protection now than we did 30 years ago when this was happening to me, right?
Yeah.
So nowadays, report it, get somewhere, go to a safe house, get out of harm's way. Uh, don't accept that, because it is telling you that this is all you're worth, and you are worth more than being beaten, kicked around, abused, molested, anything of that nature. Get out of harm's way and go find safety,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
go find healing.
Absolutely.
Or-
But it's tough. Unless you've been there, it's tough because
that's
I
right.
know, with my abuser, I would call and report him and he would go to jail. But it only made it worse for me when he got out because even if I left and moved 4 states away and he found me. I mean, there are certain cases you have to be really careful and you have to trust those professionals, like Brian was saying, trust the professionals that can get you the help you need. Sometimes
Absolutely.
we need help, but tell someone so someone else can help you stay safe. All right, Brian, my time with you is up, my friend.
Okay.
I thank you so much for being
Thank
here. You
you.
have brought so much value to the show and to the viewers. And if you want to reach Brian, how can they reach you?
Brian at briankeithgable.com. Shoot me an email, or click over on my Facebook page and send me a message.
Brian at briankeithgable.com, right? Brian, let me
Yes.
see, I gotta make sure I did that right. Nope, see, I put a T in it because I can't see. Brian at briankeithgable.com. Okay, like this. Make sure this is correct for me.
Brian at briankeithgable. That is it. You did a great job.
All right. All right, Brian, thank you so much for being here. We love you. You take care of your family. Congratulations on the new baby. Is it a boy or a girl? Do we know?
Girl, it's a girl. She's gonna be, her name's gonna be Virginia, which is named after my mom.
Oh, beautiful. Perfect for the show, too. Virginia.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, Brian. And we wish you all the best, my friend. And good luck with your podcast. Make sure you keep us in the loop. The Better Business Bureau podcast that'll be coming out on Anchor and all the podcasts in a few weeks. So be looking for that. All
All
right,
right.
Brian.
Thank you,
Love you, my
Misty.
friend.
All
Bye
right.
bye. All right, you guys. So that's all we do the show. That's the whole platform for doing shows. Just so that you can be aware We can be educated about diversity, and we can have people on the show that can actually show examples that our past doesn't have to define us, it doesn't have to make us, doesn't have to define our path moving forward. Brian is an amazing guy. He's an amazing provider. He makes mistakes, but he's stuck to getting it right. And the thing about it, he's having do-overs, and so we get it right, and we just try to be better and better every day as a person in the community. So, look up on somebody out there. I encourage you to step up every day and hashtag be that one. Share your life experience stories with your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed of your past. Instead, you can't miss that thing. You want to do this. That's something yourself. So, how do you do like that? Way? All right, that's it for our very children's story show. Hopefully, you to dare to share your story with us. Again, like I mentioned earlier, or send me an email to Mistie Layne at mistielayne.com and just type the word guest in the subject line. Type the word guest in the subject line, and we can get you on here to share your story. All right, Mistie Layne's up. Love you guys. Bye. Ciao.